Match number 8 is against a guy named TrojanMan7, and he's got a sand team. I do enjoy fighting me a good sand team. It just makes me feel satisfied. I know he's going to lead with T-Tower, so I'm going to lead off with a ferocious offense in Terrakion, and I'm going to be awesome and go for a close combat right off the bat. Even though I know he's got a Gliscor, which can take it, I kind of want to smack a Gliscor in the face with close combat because I haven't done it in a while, and I don't know how much damage it'll do. The answer, not a lot. Very disappointed, but that's the way it works. So I don't know what kind of Gliscor this is. I don't know if it wants to be an Acrobat or sub-SD or something. So as tempting as Rotom would be to go into, I'm just going to go to Ferrothorn. He decides to EQ. They all kind of have EQ, so that doesn't really tell me a whole lot, but I'm assuming it's defensive based on how much damage Terrakion did. So I could either T-Wave, hoping he switches, or just go for SR, or I could be a boss, predict the switch, and go to Crobat. I knew he'd go to Fortress there, and I want to get a taunt on this thing. I don't want to let him get Rocks up. If he gets Rocks up, Crobat's kind of screwed, Dragonite's multi-scale is broken, and he went for Spikes anyway, so, I would... Like, what? I don't know why he doesn't have Stealth Rock. That's kind of more important, what with Dragonite running around, so... it seemed kind of weird on my end, but hey, that's the move he picked. He's got to switch now because Fortress can't really touch Crobat unless it's got Gyro Ball, and even then it's kind of iffy. So I go for a Confuse Ray just to hit whatever comes in, and it turns out to be Sizer. I decide at this point that I want Crobat to figure out what kind of set this is. I don't want him to U-turn and do something awful, so I just went for Brave Bird, and that looks like a Choice Band set, so it does a hell of a lot to that thing, but I know it's not going to hurt this guy, so I'm hoping he's locked into it. If he's not, I still don't think he'd go for U-turn against Crobat when I was staying in with it, so that was just the safest option. He inexplicably goes to Fortress to take on my Rotom. I don't understand why. Maybe he thought I'd Volt Switch, but then I can just go to something else to deal with it, which would be Crobat, but then I figured, he already sees Taunt coming. He's probably just going to switch out. So I'm going to go to Breloom, because Breloom can put it to sleep, and then it can't get any hazards up in that case. Or at least I could theoretically put it to sleep. I have no intention of doing so as I go for a Swords Dance, and he stays in again. Like, this thing is just total setup bait for my Breloom, and if this thing gets set up, there's not really a whole lot he can do. He's got Latios, but I'm already +2, so if he goes right into that, Bullet Seed is going to deal massive amounts of damage to it. So I don't think he wants to do that. I'm pretty sure he's going to go to Gliscor. And Gliscor honestly isn't going to take it that well either. I'm pretty sure 4 at this point would KO it. And, if I get 4, like, it's dead. Instead I get 3, no big deal. I'm pretty sure 3 at +2 KOs it after Stealth Rocks. So, I came pretty close to getting a KO. And, if I can get that thing out of the way, that's just one less thing for Terrakion to have to deal with before it can go on a rampage. I go for another Bullet Seed, trying to finish it off, but he decides to sack his T-Tower here, which I don't necessarily agree with. But he also didn't really have a whole lot else he could do. If I was just firing off Bullet Seeds, he couldn't go back into Fortress. I guess he could have, but he would have had to sack it. I don't think he wants to sack it yet. He wants to keep it as sleep fodder, so that's just what he did. He had to get a free switch into Latias, and now he's got it, so I can't exactly stick around for it. And I'm just going to go to my best thing to handle it. Even if he's got an HP Fire, Ferrothorn can take it quite well. Unless he was Specs, like I don't think he'd be Specs, but and even if he is Specs, I'm pretty sure I have a fairly good chance of living it anyway. I don't think he has Sub, but based on the fact that he's not staying in, because Sub Latias just completely poops on Ferrothorn. I figured if I was going to get one more turn, I was going to want to get my Rocks up. Even if he wants to HP Fire me at that point, he would probably get me, but that's not what happened. I tried to go for Leech Seed on this Gliscor, and it turns out it's the Sub set. So I don't know if it's going to have Sub SD, EQ, Acrobatics, maybe? I don't know. Turns out he has Roost, so he's Sub Roost, and that tells me his last move is probably Toxic. So that means he absolutely cannot touch Crobat as long as I don't Roost. And I have no intention of roosting once I get a taunt on this thing. Because he roosted, he removes his Flying type, that lets my power up break its Sub. And I'm just going to stay in here with Ferrothorn for one turn at least, trying to get a power up on him, see how much power up will do. And it's about a Sub, so I'm expecting him to not want to set one up because I do just about the right amount to break one. And I'm just staying in here this turn. I just wanted to reaffirm he's absolutely going to go for an EQ. Trying to maybe bluff him into thinking maybe I'm just going to let this guy die, but I'm not. I'm going to switch out to my Rotom Wash because if his last move was Toxic, I didn't want to get Toxic on this guy just in case he had to come in and stall something out. I don't know. I just didn't want Toxic on it because, you know, I like keeping him at as much HP as possible. That's how you win Pokemon battles. So, he's obviously fearing Hydro Pump, and he's got the perfect guy to take it in Latios because it's just got massive special defense. It resists it. It can Calm Mind and recover and do that kind of annoying crap, and yeah, it takes nothing. So, next turn, I kind of don't know what I want to do. I've made the mistake before of staying in Volt Switching, eating a Dragon Pulse, and taking too much damage than I can afford. And I'm pretty sure he can't really do a whole lot to Ferrothorn, based on the fact that Ferrothorn is a Ferrothorn, and I resist both of his stabs. I'm pretty sure that this thing is Calm Mind, Recover, Dual Stab, because he's just going for Psychic. Like if he had a better move to hit me with than Psychic, he would have gone for it to kill me. Managed to hang on at 4, get Elite Seed on it, which is perfect. I do quite enjoy that. And, you know, it's just residual damage. That's my best way to kill Latias with this team. I'm kind of Latias weak, except for Dragonite, of course. But, you know, getting like, residual damage is my best way to kill that thing other than Dragonite. I'm going to go to Crobat. Maybe threaten him with a U-turn, maybe not. I just go for Brave Bird. I didn't expect him to stay in. Maybe he thought he'd be faster, but, you know, Crobat is just faster than everything. A lot of people, like, because it's not an OU on the Smogon tiers, a lot of people don't know, you know, how fast this guy is. But, managed to take it out, and he goes to Scissors, so I'm expecting to bite the dust here, but he doesn't go for Bullet Punch. He goes for Pursuit. He was expecting me to switch, trying to save this guy. I was expecting him to either kill me or U-turn, in which case Roosting was the best option. And turns out that I get to live to see another day with Crobat, and he failed to kill me, so that's just bad on him. Go for Brave Bird. It would have done a chunk to Sizer. It does a little chunk to Gliscor, I guess. I definitely want to taunt this thing. If I can keep him on a taunt, he can't touch Crobat, so I don't know why he specifically went to this guy. I guess he didn't really have a whole lot of options at this point, because, you know, he couldn't stand with Sizer. I'm assuming it's Choice Banded at this point. And, you know, there's just not a lot for him to do. If he's taunted, he's probably just going to go for EQ, hoping that I'll Roost. And he can't, well, he has to. He can't go for Toxic or anything. So it's just a free go into either Dragonite or Rotom, and Rotom's got the best chance of one-shotting that guy. He switches out the Fortress, which I kind of disagree with, because it's his sleep fodder, and now I can sleep something else, except Gliscor, of course, but, you know, it just gives my Breloom another chance to come in and deal some damage, which you don't typically want to do. Once you get it out of the way the first time, you know, you really want to keep it that way. He goes to Sizer this turn. I don't really know what he's expecting. Maybe he's expecting me to be bulky. He hasn't hit me yet, I don't think. So maybe he's expecting me to be bulky. Maybe he's got like max speed in a Choice Band, which isn't all that good, but it's also not all that uncommon. And maybe that's what he's expecting. He went for a U-turn, trying to kill me, but didn't work for him. In comes Terrakion, which is going to outspeed me. Doesn't quite kill me. And then my Hydro Pump hits, and it doesn't quite kill it. I don't really know what kind of Terrakion this is. I understand it's got a Sandstorm special defense boost, but I still expected that to kill. Come on. At this point, he's locked into Stone Edge. Or the worst case scenario is he's locked into Stone Edge, and he hits me first. Like, that's it. I'm free to just go for close combat. Probably should have gone for something else, because, you know, he still has Gliscor kicking around, but, you know, I didn't really care at this point. My Rotom is dead, and I really got to kill this thing either with Dragonite after it sets up a bit, or with Breloom again after it sets up a bit. But first things first, I got to get a taunt on this thing because, you know, worst case scenario, it's a PP stall, and I think I win. I have more PP than this thing because I got Confuse Ray. Roost is 16, Confuse Ray is like 32, Taunt is like 32, and yeah, there's just not a whole lot he's got going on. But that's very last case scenario because, you know, I still got Dragonite, still got Breloom, etc. So I just got my Taunt on him. He can't Toxic me now. All he got is EQ. So the best thing to go to is just Dragonite at this point. He can't Toxic me, at least for a few turns. That'll give me a few free DDs, and he's relegated to either just sitting in here going for EQs because he can't really touch me with anything else, or he can switch to an almost dead Terrakion, which isn't going to be able to one-shot me with anything really anyway. And if it comes in and locks itself into Stone Edge, I go to Breloom. He can't switch out, or he can't switch out and switch back into Stealth Rocks, so at this point it's pretty much just good game. It doesn't even really matter that his Toxic here misses or that my Dragon Claw crits. It's really just formality at this point, and any matter of luck that anybody gets is just completely useless. So Very good game. Very kind of tight down to the wire until, I managed to pull ahead a little bit. I think that just came down to matchup. His team, albeit a sand team, and therefore it should be better than mine, it just wasn't. So, good game, dude. Looking forward to the next sand team I fight, because I should be... I'm pretty used to them now, so I'm hoping that I can take on pretty much any combatant at this point, no matter what. And, as long as I don't get critted twice in a row, I should have a fair chance in any game. So see you guys next time.